Hey, we're here at this fabulous EA event, and I'm joined by none other than Steve Papoutsis. Have I got that right?
You got it right.
Okay, there you go. And you, sir, are the executive producer on
Dead Space Extraction.
There you go. So I'd like to start off by just thanking you guys for not just porting the other Dead Space with motion controls. Like, you're making an actual, like, original game here. Can you tell us, like, was it difficult to sort of push that decision through, like, the corporate red tape? Like, did you have to pitch them on, like, we want to make a new game, not just take what these guys already did before?
That's a great question. Thanks for asking it. Actually, Glenn Schofield, the original executive producer and creator of Dead Space, and I were talking about making the game during Dead Space. I was working on Dead Space with Glenn. And from the get-go, Glenn was extremely supportive of creating a new experience. So, you know, it's very important to myself, to Glenn, and to EA that we create high-quality Wii titles. We don't want to just take a game and port it over. We want to really make something special for the consumer because the Wii is a very unique platform. And as you mentioned, you know, we could have gone the way of just, oh, let's just do a port. But we wanted to do something special. We wanted to do something that resonated with the unique features and abilities of the Wii with the motion controls. So, no, it wasn't that hard. People were very supportive.
Yeah.
And it was really, really great to see everybody getting on board with it.
So obviously it is a new game, so where does it fit into, like, the Dead Space timeline in terms of, like, the storyline and all that stuff?
So Dead Space actually had a comic and it had an animated feature. So we had Downfall, which was the animated feature, and then our 6-issue comic series. Extraction takes place and plays around in that same period of time as the comic and the animated feature Downfall. And what you'll be seeing in Extraction is you'll be there from the moment when the marker is extracted. And so that's kind of the moment when the hive mind is awoken and dementia starts breaking out and the necromorphs show up on the scene. Okay. So you'll be starting from that point in the timeline.
So in terms of the timeline, it's sort of a prequel then.
It's absolutely a prequel.
The existing game. What are you guys doing with the Wii controls to kind of integrate the Dead Space experience in with motion stuff?
When we were designing and working on the game, again, you know, making sure that the game was unique, we always had a Wii remote and a nunchuck in our design meetings, and we were like, hey, what do we do with these things? These are cool. What are we going to do? So some of the real obvious things right off the bat were, you know, pointing the pointer at the screen and dismembering the poop out of guys, which we do quite a bit of. We also are using it for our alt fire. So if you're going to, you know, you decide you have your plasma cutter and you want to use the other orientation on the blade, you simply take the Wii remote and rotate it over, and now the blade is in another position. You're able to dismember with that. We are also making use of the nunchuck for melee. So if you're in proximity to enemies, you're able to use that to kind of knock them back. We're also using the Wii remote for our new feature called the glowworm. So the glowworm is kind of similar to one of these things. You actually, as you're playing the game, when you get into an area that's kind of darkly lit, you'll be notified that you can use the glowworm. And what you do at that point is then you kind of shake the Wii remote to charge it up. And what it does is it creates tension because you're actually taking your reticle off the screen to kind of shake the Wii remote. So we think that not only creates an interesting risk-reward component, but also creates a neat visual effect on screen. And it gives you this interesting choice of, am I gonna risk it? Am I gonna use it or not? So those are some of the things that, for right now, that I could talk about that we're doing.
So obviously the Wii is a little less powerful than the other consoles that are out there, maybe just a hair. Has that constrained you guys any in bringing, you know, like the strategic dismemberment, some of those kind of marquee mechanics from the original Dead Space? Has that limited what you can do with that stuff on the Wii?
No, actually the Wii is quite powerful, and we're having a great time developing for it. When we sat down to design the game, you know, there were certain things that we absolutely had to nail, and one of those being strategic dismemberment. Wouldn't be Dead Space without it. Mm-hmm. And the other thing was great atmosphere and great visuals, accompanied with great audio. So we made sure to make it, you know, a high priority to get those things right. So part of the design feeds into our ability to get those visuals and that atmosphere on screen. So we're really playing to the strengths of the system, and we're really squeezing what we can out of it, and it's been great. I mean, it's really been good, and the unique opportunities the motion controls create has been really fun to work with.
So you guys had some other pretty interesting mechanics in the first game, you know, the zero-G and kind of the going outside the ship and the vacuum and all that. Can people expect to see that kind of stuff in Extraction?
Yes, they can. We are definitely going to have zero-G, and we are definitely going to try to retain everything that people enjoyed and saw in Dead Space Extraction.
Cool. Is there anything else you can tell us about the game? I know you guys are kind of keeping some stuff under wraps for now.
Well, in this game, it is from a first-person perspective, and you are going to be encountering a lot more people during the adventure, because again, it's at the moment of the outbreak. So, you know, the colony's overrun. You're going to see a lot more people on the screen. You're going to see a lot of interesting things happening while you're trying to get off the colony and get to the Ishimura. And you're gonna meet up with some other people, and you're gonna actually have a party of people with you this time, which I think is going to be pretty fun. And we're going to have co-op, which I'm really excited about. So people will be able to, you know, as you're playing the game, your single-player game by yourself, you'll be able to hit a button and jump right in, which I'm really excited about because I love to play games with my friends.
Very cool, very cool. And so finally, when can we look for the game?
The game's going to be out fall 2009.
Cool, excellent. All right, well, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.